Welcome to this webinar hosted by the International Renewable Energy Agency. This webinar will cover the IRENA Abu Dhabi Fund for Development Project Facility and its offer for funding in the 7th cycle. We will first cover what the IRENA ADFD facility is, who could benefit, and how it operates, how the application process proceeds. The facility is a collaboration between IRENA and the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development, and it involves $350 million in concessional loans offered by ADFD over 7 annual funding cycles to promising renewable energy projects in developing countries recommended by IRENA. This offer was part of the bid by the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, to host the IRENA headquarters in Abu Dhabi. In order to access the 7th cycle funding, please do submit summary applications by the 14th of February 2019. This is through an online process. Countries that are eligible to apply are those on the IRENA members list, signatories, states in accession, and they also need to be on the OECD DAC list of ODA recipients. This list is available online, you can download it, and projects that are renewable energy projects are the ones that are eligible for funding, and they are, as per the IRENA statute, the 6 main renewable energies: wind, solar, bioenergy, hydro, ocean, geothermal. Note though that the technologies that are used need to be tried and tested, and they need to be post-feasibility study stage. So in a sense, for geothermal projects, they need to be at a beyond exploratory drilling stage, or note that the ADFD would not be funding the exploratory drilling stage, they would be funding the power plant part of the geothermal project. For bioenergy projects, various different types of projects are eligible: waste to energy, liquid biofuels. Any questions you have on that, of course, please let us know. Hybrid projects are also eligible, so wind and solar. And we've had many projects that have mitigation and adaptation elements as well for our climate resilience. So for example, a project in Antigua and Barbuda is a hybrid wind and solar project with foldable wind turbines to withstand hurricanes. So various types of projects are eligible. Fundamentally, the projects that are selected as per the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development requirements require a government guarantee letter, and there are templates provided online for these letters. The government guarantee is a sovereign government guarantee because this is a sovereign loan offered by ADFD, and therefore other types of guarantees like a PPA guarantee or a guarantee from an external bank to the country are not applying the same requirements that ADFD is looking for here in terms of a government guarantee. ADFD is looking for the international borrowing entity of the country to provide a guarantee on the default on the loan offered. The other two major aspects that projects need to comply with are that they need to be technically and economically and financially feasible, and they need to have positive sustainable development impacts and be part of the national development priorities. So what is offered by the ADFD? In this final 7th funding cycle, we have more than 50 million available because there is a rollover of unutilized amounts from previous cycles. So we would encourage you to submit as many projects as you like, and one coordinator can do that. The offer of funding is a minimum amount of loans for each project of $5 million US, with a maximum amount of 15 million offered by ADFD, and that is to cover up to 50% of the project costs. So the smallest size of project is $10 million as a result, and there is no upper limit on the size of project. Just be mindful that ADFD would only provide 15 million of that total project cost to cover up to 50%. The remainder must be co-financed, and that can be from development funds, from the government. Typically, it has been from those two quarters, but it could also be from the private sector as well. ADFD loan rates are 1 or 2%, depending on which part of the OECD DAC list the country is on. Low-income countries obtain the 1% rate and middle-income 2%. And that list is downloadable from the website in the eligible country list, so you know exactly what loan rate applies to your country. The loan rate is for a 20-year period, including a 5-year grace period. So these are quite concessional rates offered. On this map of projects selected, we've tried to indicate the wide variety of project types and also geographies covered. Here you can also see a summation of the amount of ADFD funding allocated to these projects. It's 214 million US dollars, with a lot more from co-financing. That's $420 million. So in some cases, you'll have 15 million requested from a project proponent, such as in the Solomon Islands. There's a 20 megawatt project, and it's actually an over $200 million project, with the rest being sourced from the World Bank and other parties under the auspices of the Green Climate Fund, for example. Here we are giving you one specific example that was also selected in the previous cycle, and you can see a little bit more about it here. This is the Mali Solar PV Diesel Mini-Grid project for 32 villages. It has high socioeconomic benefits for the community, and a loan of 9 million has been requested from ADFD for a total project cost of 18 million. So another 9 million comes from other co-funders, from the government of Mali, and also in this case from the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa, BADEA. So who is this for? As we have explained, the projects that will be selected are those that are able to obtain a government guarantee, and therefore typically the projects that we're encouraging are those from the ministries of energy, public utilities, and rural electrification agencies. Non-government entities can apply and are eligible to do so. They need to be able to provide that government guarantee letter. So this is the phases of the process. And here again, a reminder of the deadline of 14th February 2019 for the summary proposals. Please be mindful, though, that should you be shortlisted at the beginning of May, you will be asked for a full feasibility study by the end of June 2019. And you will find out if you've been selected by the end of December 2019. You can, of course, submit a full feasibility study at this first phase as well if it's already ready. But for those who don't have it ready, please be prepared to submit it by the end of June 2019. Here I'd like to explain a little bit more about the process, that at the shortlisting phase, as we've been talking about the co-financing element, we do share shortlisted projects with other funds. And if you are interested in us indicating to a specific fund your project, please do contact us and we can assist on that aspect as well. We can also encourage projects to list on IRENA's broader platforms, such as the Sustainable Energy Marketplace, to obtain other sources of funding. So there's two stages in the IRENA ADFD facility process. One is the summary stage, and here we've summarized the three main sections of the application form. You'll be asked about your objectives of the project, and to be very clear on this as possible, the economic financial viability, and provide a plan at this summary stage, and also what your co-financing plans are. And then thirdly, socioeconomic and environmental development impacts. Here we ask for you to articulate those benefits, and it's up to you what to put in this section. Note that this period of evaluation of the projects after you submit them in mid-February goes on in March by the experts, and then in April by the committee. At the second stage of the process, so after the committee select the projects that must submit a full proposal, you would be asked to submit a full proposal. And again, it's the same structure as the summary stage, but more details are asked at the technical stage. The economic and financial viability, in this case, a full feasibility study with economic and financial model need to be provided, and a bit more specific information on the co-financing pledges. And then in the sustainable development part, the socioeconomic and environmental impacts part, we ask you to put down specific key performance indicators, and we give you various options in the application form to do so. So environmental ones such as CO2 reduction, job creation, accessibility, affordability as examples, health and gender impacts of the project. Overall, the experts score those three sections, but they also look at whether the project is replicable or scalable, whether it's improving energy access and energy security, and they provide qualitative comments to the committee on these aspects. The committee come in and look at the scores and provide recommendations, ensuring that the projects recommended are geographically spread, are from a diverse range of technologies. So we encourage you to submit various types of technologies, and also they need to be aligned with government priorities and national development priority projects with a government guarantee letter. So these are the three considerations of the committee. The application process is all online. IRENA.org/ADFD is where you can access it. And here I've circled the registration and login links. So please register if you haven't already done so. If you have already registered, you can use your previous login details to get into the 7th cycle application process. As a heads up, not only is the selection process clarified under the quick links of Project Facility, but also you can see the ADFD requirements that are applied post-selection. So you're prepared for beyond the end of December 2019 as to what is required by ADFD. They would require you to ratify the loan agreement, for example, then also to have an open international tendering and procurement process for the contractors, and they would want to see how you've evaluated the bids through that. At this point, I'd like to thank you for listening to this webinar. If you have any further questions, please email us at adfd@irena.org, and me and my team will be happy to get back to you.